Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. We are early. This is why you follow because, we are here. I live in America. It is Independence Day. I have the day off. So this is wonderful. Get to come on a little early, get to finish up a little early. Bring this to you is hopefully you're, depending upon where you're at in America, you're escaping some of the heat inside, relaxing, getting into those Cancerian vibes. So, what is going on today? Happy 4th, happy US Sibley chart return to all those that are in America and are watching from America. So, let's get into what we're going to do today. We are going to uncover the astrological energies of Mars headed into Virgo, as well as Mercury heading into Leo this week. And we're going to discover how that's going to shape our experiences in the days ahead. They both have a lot of they got a lot of lifting to do. They got a lot of conversations that they need to have, which I will show you here in just a moment. You have joined Twitchy Tuesdays, where we are thriving live once per week, where we discuss all of the astrology. We get some tarot going. And don't forget, we want to like, comment, subscribe, follow, depending upon where you are listening to this, whether that be Twitch or on YouTube. But stay tuned because we're going to get some astrological and tarot updates for the week. So switched it up. This is my I'm vibing today. This is my Cancerian vibe look. We switched it up. Typically, we would go right into clearing space. We're going to do that at the end. We are going to get straight into the astrology because holy cow, there is a lot to start out with. There is a lot to cover today. That's why I'm also glad I'm coming in early. And as we head, we are July 4th. We are in a new quarter. So if, following the Gregorian calendar, we are in the third quarter that started at the beginning of July. We are in the second half of the calendar year with our previous Capricorn new moon that just occurred. And we're really beginning to understand the process that's happening right now. We're really starting to get a taste of a lot of the things that are upcoming. And it's a process where it's a lot about this front part of July is not about, it's about the gear up to the major shifts that are going to be carrying us through to Mabon. Mabon is our harvest. It's the autumn equinox. It's the start of Libra season. And that is what we are transitioning and gearing towards. So we take this moment where we are going to be in the midst of processes. We're going to be in the midst of conversations. We're going to be in the midst of work. And all of that is going to gear us up for the major shifts that are happening that are, hopefully going to transform our lives and bring in the most bountiful harvest. So we're going to break those pieces down. There is, again, a lot going on first off, I want to talk about quarter three. And I do have already ready the Akashic Tarot. We're going to be pulling more guidance style cards from the Akashic Tarot. And the first up is going to be quarter three. So let me get through it. I'll pull those cards and we'll discuss what that guidance in. So quarter three. In my 2023 astrology overview, which you can find on my YouTube channel, I discussed the makeup, the kind of ingredients of this quarter. So quarter two was all about pure potential. We are now moving away from that pure potential and we are moving into the quarter of new foundations. It's this moment where we've assessed our soil. We know it's fertile. We know we've got plants, we've got seedlings in there. We know they're growing in the darkness. We know they're coming up. And it's time to really see our harvest bloom. It's time to see those seeds come to fruition. So the words that I got for each month, and again, this is in that 2023 astrology overview I did at the beginning of the year. July was the electric juggle. I'm going to even have to go back and watch and hear why. That's what it is. It's the electric juggle. August is, and this is a phrase, August really revolves around the trip was far less pleasant than the destination. I think we all have some of those. And as we get into August, as we go through these Twitchy Tuesdays, we're going to get there. We're going to talk about that. And then September. September is resolution or revolution. So that's your kind of quarter three. Those are the energies that are present as we, again, it's those little bites, those little pieces moving us forward. So Akashic Tarot. There we go. This is a great deck. Beautiful cards, beautiful deck. The description and the decks are going to be in the description box. So you've got them ready. Don't worry about it. You can go in there right away, click it, get them if you are resonating with these cards. So our first up, let's get a guidance card for this quarter. For the Twitchy Tuesday fam, Spirit, ancestors, thank you so much for speaking to me and speaking through me so that way I can continue to do your work on this planet. They are just popping off, but it's like these clumps. It's like clumps are popping off. Like, all right. All right, Spirit, can I get one card, please, for the Twitchy Tuesday Collective for this quarter three? What is the guidance that you have for quarter three, Spirit? One card, please. Oh. Here it is. Six of Scrolls. The Sands of Time. Let me see if I can. There we go. Six of Scrolls, the Sands of Time. So let's take a look, get a little bit deeper into this. I love these windows. For the first thing that drew my eye, like, yes, I get that right in this center here is the Sands of Time. Yep, not what I was drawn to were these three arched windows. So yes, this is the Six of Scrolls, but there's also a three here. I'm getting the word sacred geometry, but it's more like all things are connected together. As you go through this quarter, each of these months, everything that we are preparing for that is moving us through, that is getting us ready for these really robust, really healing, thriving, growing conversations, they're all connected. July, August, September, it's all connected to something bigger. It's all connected to the scrolls. It's all connected to the sands of time. It's all connected together, and it's divinely guided too. So I'm going to look up the Six of Scrolls in the book because I don't use this deck very often. So I want to ensure that the interpretation 121 comes through. Okay. The Sands of Time. Oop, there we go. The sun has begun to set low on the western horizon, but it is still visible through the window of a beautiful castle room. I told you the windows drew me first. A man is focused with a concern on a large hourglass that has almost run out. He rolls up his sleeves, ready to get back to work. This card shows that in some matter of importance, time is of the essence. You're going to see, I'm going to keep this card out because you're going to see when we get into the astrology of this week, how this is going to come into play. This could be an opportunity that you don't want to miss. It may be a project situation or personal connection that requires attention or even completion. You might have had some delays, or you may have been highly active and industrious for some time. Either way, keep going. Your focus and effort are still required in order to get to the end game. Don't let worry steer you away from your goal. There is more yet to do. So don't give up. Perfect card to talk through Q3. Perfect card to talk through July, really. It is, I'm just seeing this. There's an Akashic force. Close your eyes and catch the energy of time. It feels almost as if you can ride it as it flows through your day, lifting your excitement, your enthusiasm, and your industry. Feel this now and realize that whatever you have to do, time is your gift and your tool. So we're going to leave this Six of Scrolls. Here, we're going to put it right here. Nope. They said they don't like that right there. I got it right here in front of me. When we go to the full deck, we'll see it. When we go to the full screen, we'll see it more. But that is, time is of the essence. And yes, there are going to be things that we are going to have to do in July. This is where rubber meets the road, especially as Mars gets into Virgo. Which we're going to talk about in a few moments. So I want to move from the quarter overall to talk through July, and we'll get another Akashic Tarot card to give us guidance for July. But now we're really getting into that electric juggle of July. We are, really making these headways with our new foundations. We've laid some really amazing foundations this year. They're ready to yield bounty. We just moved through the first half of that calendar year, and now we're working towards the shifts that will allow us to truly yield bounty, truly harvest what is blooming for us. And it's this moment where we can see the next, we can see what's coming up. We can see that pleasant destination, even if the work to get there, even if the journey to get there might be a little bit one of those, one of these things like, wasn't my favorite, but we weathered it and here we are. And I'm so happy that we're here. And then you get to create again in September, this resolution or this revolution. What is there going to be? So I'm just going to break down what we are shifting to. So again, the first part of July, there's some of this that's happening, but these are all the things that are kind of upcoming. And I've got a wonderful Archetypal Explorer to really illustrate all of this. So let me go through it verbally first, and then we'll talk through it from the Archetypal Explorer. So first off, fire signs retrograde. We have 2 retrogrades in fire signs, Chiron retrograde and Venus retrograde, both happening, both stationing in July, 7/22 and 7/23, back to back. So we've got the fire sign retrograde coming. Then the nodes are changing. The nodes are changing into Aries and Libra. They were in Taurus and Scorpio. They are always permanently in retrograde, so they always go back other way through the zodiac. And that is, we've been moving through this for quite some time. And so these nodes changing can be a breath of fresh air, especially for, could be that breath of fresh air for the fixed signs, for the mutable signs. It could start getting a little heated for our cardinal signs. But it's this movement and this change. It's that consistent reminder that all things change throughout our life. All things go through cycles. And then we have Mars goes into Virgo the same day that Mercury goes into Leo. That's going to be the 10th of July. And we're going to talk about that in our Twitchy Tuesday today. And by the end of the month, Mercury is going to be co-present with Mars in Virgo. So they kind of separate and then come back together because Mercury is speedy, quick this month. He is getting in and out of Leo as fast as he can. And then when he gets into Virgo, that's where he's going to retrograde when we get to August. So again, it's all of this build up to more things. And we're not done. With the ingress of Mars in Virgo, on the 10th, Venus is now holding her own in Leo. She had this co-present with Mars. She had this moment where she's, wanted to kind of reach out and touch him and never got quite close enough to conjunct to him. And Mars has moved on. And so now she's left in this Leo getting to slow down, getting ready for her retrograde. And she how's that going for everybody? How is that working? Venus retrograde is very, very present right now. I am a Leo sun. I have my sun at 19 degrees of Leo. So this is going to be for me I've got Venus going back and forth all over my my natal chart right now. So then we have the start of Leo season. Fellow Leos, happy Leo season. That is going to start this month. And we talked about those north nodes changing. Well, not only does the north node change, but the north node does a square dance with Pluto. Starts on July 22nd, where Pluto north node exact square, 25th, another exact square, and the 28th, another exact square. Essentially, the north node and south node ingress on the 17th. So, yes, these are when these exact squares happen towards the very end of July. But on the 17th, when the nodes change signs, they're building up to this. So, this is going to be a very interesting dynamic. We'll talk more about throughout our Twitchy Tuesdays and really get into the energy of that. And we're still going. We're still going. Jupiter and Uranus are getting closer. Now, they won't meet up in their exact conjunction until mid-April of 2024, but there's a little bit of a build and it's definitely rubbing. It's definitely orb closeness that's giving us a little bit of rub that's letting us know what might happen when we get to 2024. Saturn and Mars opposition will go on the 20th, but will begin to build as soon as Mars ingresses into Virgo, which will be on the 10th. And immediately after that opposition, Mars and Jupiter will trine. Mars and Jupiter trines on August 1st. So we've got this build up to this Saturn-Mars opposition. We've got the going away from that and immediately right into Jupiter-Mars trine. So we're going to be spending a lot of time in this July really grounding in these foundations, really making sure everything is solid, really making sure all of the pieces that we have been working on, talking about, they're there, they're ready to build, they're ready to increase, they're ready to produce. I really liked what it said about the Six of Scrolls, where it talked about having industry. There's something there maybe for somebody, but that term industry, and not when it means like, the industry of X, but your own industry. There's something there this July, that month. There's something in this quarter that industry might be an important word. So we're going to talk about all of those pieces, not today, but throughout all of the Twitchy Tuesdays. We do this every Tuesday, typically at 5:30 p.m. Central Time on Twitch and YouTube. But as these come up, we will be talking about each of those pieces that I just mentioned. So before we get to the weekly astrology, oh, that's right. Let me show you this chart. So if you have not heard of Archetypal Explorer, highly, highly recommend going and checking it out. If you like astrology, you're kind of ready for that next step in astrology or just want really great graphics. I'm a very visual person. I like to see things like this. It helps me visualize. It helps me kind of, figure out everything. Archetypal Explorer does this and so much more. As you can see, this is only one piece of a variety of different things that they do. So, Archetypal Explorer, I'll make sure to put a link in the description box afterwards. But this is what I wanted to show. So, I do have the calendar for the entire quarter. And we can focus on July, right? We were here to here. This is going to be July, August, September. And what's really cool about Archetypal Explorer is you can just hover over and you can see where different points are. But this is what we're building, right? These are the new foundations that we are laying. These are the things that, again, you can see. Look at who is the busiest. We've got a lot of Venus, a lot of Mercury, a lot of Mars. They are going through these different conversations, these ebbs and flows, and they're coming up to a lot of really prominent things. So here's that Mars-Saturn opposition that I talked about, where like, yep, we peak, we come off of it, and look at how soon, right after Mars-Jupiter, right? Not many days between these two when it peaks and then comes down. Another one that you don't see here because I only have it within the 3-degree orb, but is that Jupiter Uranus. You'll see it kind of, let's see if we can get it in when we do a 10-degree orb. Here it is. Jupiter conjunct Uranus down here. I'm just going to put the arrow right here between September 3rd, September 10th. You can see where all the way back here, July, let's call that 20th, it just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. And then we'll go back down where we don't have any real strong outside of the co-presence. We don't have them within orb of each other. And then it will build up again as we get into 2024. So this is the hefty, right? Here we are. This is a little hefty over here with all of these different conversations. So let's go to the full card screen now and let's get the guidance card. Here is that 6 of Scrolls. All right, let's get the guidance card for July. What is the Akashic Tarot guidance card for this July? Spirit, what is the Akashic guidance? Oh, there we go. We've got the King of Keys. Here. First of all, purple. Oop, there we go. It's like, hey, look at here. Look at the purple. Purple and gold. Such great colors together. It's really lovely that we see in both of these cards this bright, vibrant sun. And I love that because this is the season that we're in, right? We are in the season of sun. This quarter, we are moving through the season of sun. We've got our journey through Cancer, summertime. We've got our journey through Leo, that king of the sun itself, the sun's home sign. And then we move into Virgo, where we start to work on that transition into that darker half of the year, getting into Mabon, etc. But here is the King of Keys. So let's take a look. And see what it says. Scrolls, keys. Okay. Like headed way back to the back of this book. All right. King of Kings, or the King of Keys. I mean, there you go. King of Kings. Rides a splendid horse towards a great castle in the distance. So the castle is out here. Here's the king on his horse. He is happy and at ease as he travels home. This is an entrepreneurial man, a civil or commercial authority. He is confident, astute, and perhaps overly focused on his work or career. Excuse me. Though he can be very thoughtful and helpful to you in business or financial matters, he is often more goal-oriented than people-oriented. Ooh, all right. Keep this in mind if this man turns out to be a love interest for you or another. When the King of Keys represents you or another, be on the lookout for a major promotion, a heightening of income, or a furthering of career achievements. Careers in finance, real estate, and business are typical for the King of Keys, but management in any industry can be forthcoming. This may also be a good time for self-employment and business expansion for you or a man in your life. Special note. Take note when the Queen and King of Keys appear in the same spread. Okay, well, we won't take note of that. We don't need to worry about that, but we will do the Akashic Force. Close your eyes and feel yourself step into an important position of power and wealth. You become the King of Keys and you feel yourself straighten and lift with a new strength and authority. As you survey your world, decide which part of your life you would like to approach with a greater sense of rulership. All right. So time is of the essence. Got to be in your power. Got to be in your power as you're moving through these quarters. You have to have this sense of authority, this sense of agency, right? This knowingness that, look, he's a king and he's all alone out here. All alone out here. Because it's his journey and he knows that. It's also, he has cultivated his land as such that he doesn't need people around him. He doesn't need his guards around him to take him through his valley. He knows it. We watched Brad Pitt, Troy, the other day, and there was something that, I forget the king's name, and I would probably pronounce it wrong anyways. But the king that they were fighting, that Achilles was fighting, when he came into Achilles' hut and was begging for his son to be released to him so he could give him his burial rights, Achilles had questioned, like, how did you get in here? And the king said, you do not think that I don't know every grain of sand in my own land better than the Greeks? So that's what that reminds me of, is it's almost like you have to love and know every grain of sand that you are putting into your masterpiece. We talked a lot about like creating that masterpiece, that master weaving over the last couple of weeks. You need to know every thread. You need to know every color. You need to know every weight. This is you need to be the sole owner and understander of you, that you can whenever you need to maneuver in and out of your own being, your own energy. And it's up to you to understand all of that. It's up to you to really move that forward, have that sort of agency that you can walk around unguarded and free and enjoying the beauty of what you have created. Okay, we're going to leave those up there. And we are going to get into the astrology of the week. So today and tomorrow, we have no direct aspects. Whoop, whoop. We just get to soak in that Capricorn full moon vibes. Got the Queen of Wands that just popped out. And we get to ground that in, the Queen of Wands. We get to really sit on that throne. We get to enjoy that energy. We get to look out over, know what we're doing, know we're ready to take action, know where we're going, right? We did our check-in. We did our assessment. We did our check-in. We're ready. We are ready to go. So on the 6th, Mercury in Cancer will sextile Uranus in Taurus at 21 degrees, 58 minutes. So I love Uranus. Like, I want to begin, I think I'm just going to have to make that like going into one of my goals into the next year, to really begin to work with Uranus more, especially through what he's going to be doing in this upcoming transit through Taurus and, that the rest of it. So anyways, Mercury in Cancer, use your words and get support for the things that are shifting. If your internal dialogue or your feeling, your words are like, you're just like screaming for help internally because of all the things that are shifting around you, that's a great day to start asking. Use your words. That's what Uranus is trying to do. When Uranus shakes all of those things up, when Uranus creates those tower moments, whoa. Can't make it up. Can't make it up. When your world is changing and Uranus creates those tower moments, what do? Uranus is making sure that this castle up here, what you're working on, that it's solid. It's got that foundation, and whatever it doesn't have, like, look, if you look at this tower, right? This part of the tower isn't crumbling down. The top is. This is what was struck by lightning, is this crown on top of this tower. That's what wasn't stable. It's not that the whole tower isn't stable. It's this piece isn't stable. That's got to go. That's what Uranus does. So it's using, as all of this change is happening, as you're going through your process, as we're laying all of these foundations, doing all the things, getting and gearing up for the harvest, you've got to be able to use your words to express what your needs are. It's like, I had put down, there's something to do with timing, which I think is timely with the world, and understanding that your time is not the same as God's time. Understanding that your time is not the same as the time of the ancestors in the spirit world. Understanding that when the timing of when things happen, the timing of when the world turns, the timing of when the alchemy comes forward is the time when it's supposed to, instead of when you wanted it to. So there's something very much on 7-6 about timing. And because Mercury and the Sun are close enough together right now in Cancer, dig into the mud. Dig into the mud, dig in here, dig into the mud of the Cancerian areas of your life. So if we look here, home, life, siblings, family, parents, ancestors, these are your roots. These are where you come from. It's your home. It's what you feel protected and safe and where you feel the most comforted. Dig into the mud of the Cancerian area, wherever Cancer is in your natal chart. Let's say it's in the 7th house, relationships. How does that look into those areas of your life? But be mindful that while you're digging in the mud, we are in summertime, the sun is shining, that as you're digging down into that mud, crabs are not scorpions. We'll get to Scorpio season. Mercury will get to Scorpio soon enough to dig out. But this could be that initial start of digging up that mud for the time when Mercury gets into Scorpio. Because if you go too far, if you start digging too much and you kind of forget that the world's happening, the mud's going to dry, right? Tides are going to change. Low tide's going to come in. The sun is going to bake over all of that mud, and then you're going to be stuck in there until it gets wet again and you can dig yourself out. Digging into the mud, little bits here and there, and discover what needs, right? What is shifting for you in that area. All right, 7-7 and 7-8, nada. We get 2 days to kind of work through that timing. We get 2 days to dig into the mud before we got to move on, because then Mercury in Cancer will trine Neptune retrograde in Pisces at 27 degrees, 40 minutes. So we had, what do we have? The King of Wands pop out, the 9 of Pentacles pop out, and the Knight of Pentacles pop out. Lots of really powerful, very powerful, very grounded cards for a Mercury Cancer trine Neptune retrograde in Pisces. Okay, so this is where, yes, again, these are such grounded cards for this, and I love it because this is what I wrote down for this transit. So I got the image when I was thinking through this transit of kilns and how kilns help with pottery and create pots. And I got this image of like making sure that you're done with your creation, right? If you put your pottery into the kiln before it's ready or before you're ready. Now, obviously, we don't want that analysis paralysis. We ain't in Virgo yet. But if you do that before you get into, before, once it goes into the kiln, that's it. You can't make changes. It is where it is. So this is one of those moments where I think there are some final things, right? Like here in this Nine of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles, again, we talked about this the last time. Nines are completion without finalization. She needs this. She needs what this Knight of Pentacles has, which is the one pentacle to create the 10. And I'm seeing this as very Neptune retrograde, and this is very Mercury in Cancer, where Mercury in Cancer is going to be able to take that pottery that you're working on and is going to give you that feeling of when it is complete, when it's ready to go into the kiln, when it's ready to be done, when it's ready, like, all right, I know how I need to finish this. I've got these few final things that I want to edge this a little bit more. I want to change this just a little bit. And it's in these minute spaces. I'm getting it as like very tiny. It's why it's a page and not a king, right? It's small spaces, small things that just need these tiny bits of adjustment before it gets into the kiln. And now we can combine these two. And now we have the 10. We have all the pentacles needed. We've got this beautiful, beautiful kiln ready to go. And then on 7/10, we have a big day. Big day on 7/10. That is next Monday. There's got a lot going on. We've got Mercury in Cancer will oppose Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, 29 degrees, 24 minutes, right before Mercury heads into Leo. Mars in Virgo is first, though. So Mars will head into Virgo, Mercury will oppose Pluto, and then Mercury will head in to Leo. There's that Knight of Pentacles again. So we'll do Mars in Virgo, Mercury in Leo. We'll do that separate. We're going to get a Akashic Tarot for each one of those as guidance for their transit. Before we do that, let's talk about this opposition to Pluto retrograde. Whoa. Oh, there we go. Fool came out. Knight of Pentacles came out. So we're going to head back to that pottery in the kiln. So this is where now Pluto gets to observe your pottery, right? Here's Pluto, the Fool, having this lovely journey, looking at your pentacle, looking at the pottery that you created, observing everything, observing what you have to offer, observing who you are in this world, observing what you're doing. And it's very much like you're the apprentice and all you want is Pluto's approval. Like you've been working, this is like the professor, the apprentice, like the mentor. You just want their approval. You want their praise. You want them to be proud of you. And it's Pluto though. Like that's the thing. Like they do not want more cards because they're like, yeah, no, this is Pluto. Pluto doesn't care. Pluto ain't going to give none of that away. You're not going to get praise from Pluto. You're not going to get approval from Pluto, not in the way that you want it. This Fool is not going to go up to this Knight of Pentacles and be like, oh, darling, that is a fabulous pentacle. Oh my God, how did you do that? Like, I am so happy you're my apprentice. You are the best thing. That ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But what Pluto being the Fool does is it allows this Knight of Pentacles, it allows you to stand in your power. All Pluto wants from you is not to have to tell you that you did a good job, but for you to know that you did a fucking awesome job on your own. You have to know your work is good enough on your own. You have to know that you're worthy of your work. You're worthy of greatness. You are greatness. And it's not Pluto's responsibility to tell you that. It's not the fool's responsibility to tell you that. You have to tell yourself that. You have to know that. You have to resonate with that. And then let's talk about, we'll give Mars in Virgo first because Mars goes into Virgo first, so we'll give him that honor. Mars in Virgo. I love Mars in Virgo. Oh, I'm so happy Mars is going into Virgo. We need the warrior Mars in Virgo for Venus retrograde. This could not have come about any better. Thank you, universe. All things on purpose. So Mars in Virgo, why Mars in Virgo is so great, especially at this time, is Mars in Virgo isn't simply the athlete. Mars in Virgo is the Olympian, the GOAT, right? Mars in Virgo is Michael Phelps. Mars in Virgo is Spartacus. Mars in Virgo is Kutalin. Mars in Virgo is Lady True. Miyamoto Musashi, Alexander the Great, Leonidas, Achilles. That is Mars in Virgo. Like, it's not just the everyday athlete. It's not just the person who, yeah, I played football in my high school years. Queen of Swords. It's more. It's standing above. It's this Queen of Swords. It's like going that extra length and standing in such power. That's Mars in Virgo. That's that warrior of Mars in Virgo. It's like, especially with the Queen of Swords here, during Mars's transit through Virgo, there's going to be a lot about what needs our focus and what needs to be cut out of our focus. And a lot of that has to do with physical wealth. So there's many different forms of wealth. It is not just all about monetary. It is not just all about money. It's spiritual wealth, physical wealth. Monetary is one of them, yes, but there's so much more. And when Mars is in Virgo, it really places that emphasis on the physical body, on the wealth that we have and what in our physical body, how we are treating it, what we are doing to it, what needs to go and what needs to stay, and getting really clear about it. Very clear about it. And it's not about getting, since we're in Cancer season, it's not about getting crabby or bitchy about it. It's not about being pissed off that you're doing way more work than somebody else is doing. And like, it would be one of those moments where like you and your friend decided to go to the gym together and hold each other accountable, and you're going way more than your friend is, and your friend's kind of petered out. That ain't got nothing to do with you, boo. Ain't got nothing to do with you. You do not need to be pissed about that. You keep doing you. And that's what Mars in Virgo is really great at. It can really elevate you to that next level where maybe a prior timeline of yours, maybe a prior cycle of yours would have been to get pissy about that, would have been to get crabby about that. But now, oh, there's that Nine of Pentacles. You ain't got to worry about that no more. You ain't got to. I'm great. I can do all this on my own. Look, I can complete things on my own. Might not be finalized, but I can complete things on my own. Mars and Virgo is also a lot about like we talked about that body consciousness. And discovering in that body consciousness, like where you need to level up. That could be something King of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. That could be something of, what is working really, really well for what you're doing. Where have you challenged yourself? Where do you have enough challenge? And the Three of Wands, where do you need to be challenged more? What's that next journey look like? So this can be those levels of things. So maybe you've been working out and you have been only doing 30-minute cycle classes. loving them, but it's you need a little bit more. So now you're going to go to 45s. Or you've been doing CrossFit and you're doing great with that. That's working for you. And it can be in combination of the two, right? Like maybe you've got a diet that's working really well for you, but you need to adjust some of your strength training. Maybe you need to add mobility training or stretching into that. So it can be, it's all different kinds of things depending upon you and how this energy is working with you. But Mars in Virgo really brings in that body consciousness to allow you to know what your needs are. Let's get guidance from the Akashic Tarot for this Mars in Virgo and see if it kind of continues to build on our story here. What is your guidance for Mars in Virgo transit? This is what was happening. One card, please. One card for this Mars in Virgo transit. Thank you. Ooh, the King of Roses. So we've got keys and roses here. Let's look at this. So very red, very powerful. We're talking about Mars and Virgo. Definitely Mars showing up here. Got these fire roses. I love that it reminds, it's like a little bit of the sun, a little bit of Mars together. Let's see what it says. Okay. King of Roses. This card shows a man holding two roses, a red and a white, demonstrating a balance of passion and purity. At his feet are the yellow roses of healing and creativity. This is the King of Love, a man who is balanced and well-rounded. When he appears upright in your spread, it indicates that a potential union could be at hand. Ooh, Mars and Virgo season. Either a friendship, business, or even a romance. Whether this is a new relationship or a blossoming of an old one, this man brings tender-hearted and thoughtful support. He's also someone who could be helpful in your personal life, especially where home or family issues are concerned. And that is that kind of home piece, helping with that home life. This could be something where somebody comes in, maybe you get a personal trainer, something of that nature. Whether the King of Roses is you or another man, the role of husband or father is now opening to create a happy home and family. This card also lets you know that you are ready to stand up for yourself and take loving but considered action on your own behalf. It's time of increasing love and compassion, which always starts within. Close your eyes and step. This is the Akashic Force, excuse me. Close your eyes and step into the robes of the King of Roses. You are the king of family, home, and community. Feel a sense of care swell within you. How would you like to bring the world around you now? This over here. So that is Mars in Virgo. Let's head to Mercury in Leo, and then we will be all done for this Twitchy Tuesday. Head back out, barbecue, spend time in the sun, go ground. All right, Mercury in Leo. So Mercury is in his fall when he's in Leo. It's not a bad sign. It's a fixed sign. That's like meh. It's fire though, so there's some energy there. There's some pep in that step. It can get things going faster. There's a sprint that Mercury is going to be doing in his transit in Leo. It's going to be 2 weeks, very quick again. So you might, in the mercurial things, the thoughts, the conversations, all of those mercurial things might have a little bit of heat to them. They might be a little spicy. They may be very quick, very tempered, very, snappy. Words can have, especially your words or in conversations, you might find you have a lot more ambition to say the things that you want to say. A little more gumption is the word that came out. Knight of Swords. Look at this. He is just flying. This is absolutely Mercury and Leo right now. Knight of Swords just flying. You may be a little more daring in your conversations, in your communication, and stoking the fire a little bit. So kind of watch out for that. There is this other side of it that's very much like the lazy lion in summertime, where you just like, he's just laying out. There's not a lot of thought going on because you're just really like vibey, don't really want to do much, those sorts of things. So, it can be either it's going way too fast and you're doing way too much, or it's kind of like this super tempered slowdown. But when you do take this action, it's like super snappy and quick. And then you're okay, I'm right back. I'm right back. Here's the sun coming out. And, it's really Leo. We'll just look. I love talking about Leo. I could always talk about Leo. But Leo is truly about your heart. And, okay, let's see. Talked about the heart, and voila, all the cards fell out. So we have the Page of Swords, we have the Four of Pentacles, and we have the Seven of Swords. Lots of swords. And what I noticed right away is these swords, it's like sword, something else, sword, something else, sword. And I just feel like that pattern's going to be here as in these 2 weeks that Mercury goes through. It's like, I got to make a decision, or Mercury's going to get into Leo and you're going to go in hot and heavy. You're going to go in with ambition. You're going to go in with, daring. Oh yeah, let me go ahead and say all the shit that I've been meaning to say. And let me go ahead and get all of this off my chest. And then the sun's going to be like, hi, you're burnt now. You didn't use sunscreen, so now I got you, and now you are burnt, and now you've got to like go tuck tail and move forward. It's like this Knight of Swords, the first one, Mercury's ingress into Leo. I don't need no sunscreen. Okay. Now look, make sure it's appropriate sunscreen. We can go through all of that. We can go down that rabbit hole if you want to. But if you don't want sunscreen, make sure you got a hat, make sure you got an umbrella, make sure you're covered, whatever that looks like, because there's going to be a consequence for this ambition, this gumption, this daringness of whatever this is. Then we've got this Page of Swords. Okay. I'm going to try again, but I'm going to temper it down a little bit. I'm going to try again. Let me get my words right. Let me learn. Look, I'm learning and growing, right? It's not about going up in this manner. It's like starting hot and heavy and then learning to temper it down. And whatever this conversation is with this Page of Swords, it's more tempered, but it kind of hurt feelings a little bit. Still got some feelings here. Still got some messes to clean up, right? We still doing some heavy lift in there. It's really this like, what you're saying, you're going to have it's not going to be over. It's not going to be over with a simple I'm sorry. It's not going to be over with a simple, oh, let me help you. It's not going to be over with a it's going to take time. It's going to take time. So watch when Mercury gets into Leo, what you're saying, what you're really emoting in your conversations with others, with yourself, because you may say something that's going to take a little bit to get through. And then we get here and it's like, okay, got it. Lesson learned. No, these two swords, this is the Page of Swords and the Knight of Swords. I'm taking the goodness with me. I'm going to leave those two right here because guess what? It's in the past. This is all past. I can't change what I said. I can't change what I did. So I'm moving on. Moving on up into Virgo. We go move on up into Virgo after this very quickly. And I'm going to bring what I need to bring into Virgo with me. Another way to look at all of this, kind of that similar thing of like hot and heavy into, oh, I know what to bring into Virgo with me. Leo is truly all about the heart. And it is, when Mercury is in Leo, it is about how do you focus on connecting that heart to the mind? How do you focus on trusting what is lighting you up inside this sun. Trusting that what is lighting you up inside, what foundations are being laid, the tools that you have at your disposal, that it's truly for you. So find what is lighting your fire. Find what is bringing you forth in such greatness and love. Do that. Think that. Communicate that. Do that. Think that. Communicate that. What's making you super happy? What's making your foundation secure? What's making the sun shine on you? What's making you enjoy? Do that. Think that. Communicate that. Let's get the Mercury in Leo Akashic Tarot. This will be the last one. Completion of our story. What guidance do you have for Mercury, the transit of Mercury in Leo? What? Oh, there it is. Reflection. Okay, let's take a look. I think this is part of that major arcana. Yes, 93. All right. Reflection. So this is the only card with a moon in it. It's not daylight. It's got the moon. There's a sail ship right here. You've got some homes out on the lake. And it looks like it's a full moon, which we just had. A full moon shines brightly over a quiet lake as a small ship glides gently through the water. The glow of the ship's lantern is reflected on the lake's surface along with the moonlight from above. This card can sometimes show a trip, particularly a trip over or by water. More important, it can reveal that you now have a direct line to your psychic gifts. You are also more aware of your emotions and more reflective about them. You recognize the difference between your intuitive voice, which is calm and assured, and your lower emotional compulsions, which are urgent and sometimes fear-based. You let yourself gain even greater clarity and control over your emotions now. This also would be a great time for you to take classes in meditation, psychic development, counseling, healing, and other psychological and spiritual arts. If you have such an interest, your yin side is wide open and your receptivity is high. Trust your inner voice and you will be guided to greatness. And I really feel like this guidance for Mercury and Leo is especially because this is happening on the 10th. We have from now until then with Mercury in Cancer. And when we talked about Mercury in Cancer, one of the first things I said was go and do like any sort of psychic practices, palm reading, water scrying, whatever that looked like. I really hear this as a message from Mercury today to when Mercury gets in Leo, and through that 2-week sprint is to not forget about Mercury in Cancer. Past Mercury is a smart dude, right? Past Mercury is a great dude. When Mercury gets into Leo, don't forget that yin side of you. Don't forget to connect into that psychic piece of you. Again, how do you know what's lighting your fire? How do you trust that? How do you focus on connecting your heart and your mind if you're not already there? How do you begin that? So this is that reflection piece. It's go back, remember Mercury in Cancer, and continue to do that. The Akashic Force. Close your eyes and feel yourself filled with an emotional peace as calm as a still lake. You are now in a state of intuitive reflection. Open yourself to a word or image from spirit and trust the first thing you get. Let yourself receive. All right, that is it. Thank you so much for joining me for this Twitchy Tuesday. Let's go ahead and clear space before we end. So we got closer. We're here. We got closer to our goal. 1,000 subs on YouTube, 100 subs or 100 followers on Twitch. Q3, we are doing that again. We did not hit our goal in Q2, so we are moving that over to Q3. And how can you support? Well, what you can do right now, head over to YouTube, get to my channel, or at Twitchy Tuesdays. Make sure you are subscribed and then go to the live tab. So there'll be a bunch of tabs up there. Go to the live tab. you will see all of July Twitchy Tuesdays, including a special 7/23 Twitchy Tuesday for Lammas the next Sabbath. So, and all of those are scheduled. You can smash that notify me button, and when I go live, you will get an email or however you choose your notifications. So it's really, really great way to not ever miss a live stream. And if you dig music and want a specially curated playlist of songs to vibe to, you absolutely have to check out my Apple Music channel. You'll find 2 Saturn return playlists as well as a Twitchy Tuesday one that I add to on a regular basis. And that is all found in the description box in YouTube and the About Me section on Twitch. But I'm just going to throw it, bam, it's right there. It's in the chat. That's where you could, right here. Whoop, there we go. Whoa, look, this whole thing. There we go. That's where it is. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. We will see you next week. Bye.